What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to a new video. Right, so the first time this happened that I remember as an adult, okay? I was at college. I was probably about 18 or 19 and it was Braintree College. I was the only person in my group that was disabled. Everybody else could walk fine. It wasn't like nobody treated me any differently, which was awesome. But we had this thing we needed to do, and we needed to use computers. None of the computers near us, which were on the level that I could get to, didn't have to use the lift or anything, were free. They were being used, so we went up to the top level of the college to a computer room. That was fine, and the lift worked fine and got up there fine. The friend I was with didn't really like using lifts, but because I had no other way of getting there and he didn't want to leave me on my own or like not be friendly and have the conversation, he would get in the lift with me. Fine. Anyway, we get up there, we're up there fine. Then we need to get down for our next lesson. So we're at the top of this part of the college. We're as high as we could go, like level 5. And we need to go all the way down and get to the Performing Arts Hall and do our lesson. It was either the fire alarm or something went wrong with the lift. But I wasn't allowed to use the lift from that point onwards, so I was stuck at level 5 in this building, couldn't get down. I think there were people in the lift at the time as well. Obviously everybody else can just go down the stairs. I can't. So I was like, well, what can I do if I can't use the lift? And now I'm stuck on the top floor of this building and I need to be in a lesson. My mate wanted to fireman's carry me over his shoulder while somebody else lifted the chair downstairs. That was going to happen until the caretaker of the college or one of them, spotted that we were going to do that and said that we weren't allowed to do it. So my mate asked, well, how am I supposed to get my friend, down without leaving him here? The response was that in the event of an emergency or a fire, you leave me at the top of the stairwell and everybody else gets out, and then I have to wait for help from either college people who are qualified to do whatever they need to do, we'll get to that in a minute, or in the event of an actual fire, I have to wait in the stairwell, or any other disabled person wait in the stairwell for the fire people to get you, and everybody else gets out. Everybody else leaves, and you just leave me and any other disabled wheelchair user who can't get down the stairs at the top of whatever stairwell, whatever level they're on, and someone eventually will come and save you. And my mate was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not leaving him at the top of this building or wherever we would be, getting myself out in the case of a fire and then just leaving him at the stairwell. And I was like, is that really the safest thing to do? Like, if the building is on fire, the flames aren't going to get to the stairwell where I'm sitting and go, oh no, there's a person there, I'm going to stop burning this building down. Is it the safest place to be? I don't know. Then it transpires that there is this fire chair which you're supposed to transfer into, and then qualified individuals take you down the stairs in this fire chair, which is what is meant to happen. this is where nobody was actually qualified to use that thing in the college where I was. Nobody was qualified. Nobody knew what they were doing at all. So turns out that we've probably been up here stuck. My mate won't leave me. Keeps telling me just to get on his shoulder and bump down. But I don't want to get him into trouble. I don't want to get into trouble. But this seems annoying. So what happens is we all wait for about 50 minutes. Even people I don't know. People I've seen around the college, but they're not in my course. They're not in my group of friends. Wait with me. Then they bring this fire chair out and I transfer. And I'm not joking you. It's just like a bit of plastic seating with a load of metal. It's not really a chair, and then you're lifted and bumped down all of the stairs, which was very uncomfortable. Nobody knew what they were doing. My legs were all tensed. I was a bit beaten up because they keep bashing my back and the bottom of my spine and my legs every time they would try and bump me down the flights of stairs, and I had all the flights of stairs to go down because we were at the top of the building. So my mate is carrying my chair down while they're doing this thingy chair, and I didn't understand why I had to transfer to this thing that was really uncomfortable and nobody knew what they were doing, when a fireman surely would just either carry me. It would be quicker, right? I don't understand. If you're in an emergency, the palaver of me jumping out of my chair, getting into this weird contraption that is not comfortable or seemingly built to bump me down the stairs very easily, seemed like a waste of time, especially if there was actually a fire. If there was actually a fire, I would jump out of my chair, and if there was someone there, I would get them to carry me. So we basically missed our lesson. Finally got down. The lifts were still out of order. I was traumatized, shaking, needed a drink and some sugar because of being bumped down all of these stairs. It was the most uncomfortable thing. And if anyone has ever experienced using one of these stair chair things, let me know, because I did not enjoy it. So we get down, and then my mate goes into the lesson where we're supposed to be, and we're like 45 minutes late. There's 15 minutes left of the lesson, or it might have been a double lesson. Understandably, our tutor is like, "Where have you been?" and angry that we've missed the lesson. But after we explained it, and I told them like the experience that I'd had, and that nobody knew what they were doing with this stair thing, and that I got trapped up there because they that's it. It wasn't a fire alarm. We'll get onto that in a minute. Something went wrong with the lift, and we couldn't get down in it. And she said we could have the period off, go and get a drink, relax, and then she came and spoke to me, and I was like, they didn't know what they were doing. I was trapped, and Adam didn't want to leave me and come down and then just leave me stuck there. In hindsight, he probably could have done that and then told them what was going on, but in the moment when you're being told you can't use the lift and he can't lift me down, we were just trying to make our point to the person that was in front of us. In hindsight, and having a bit more life experience now, could have sent someone down, told them what was going on. They would have known, and then things would probably have got sorted a little bit different. But when you're young, and like you're being told something that doesn't seem right to you, you deal with the situation head on, and you're not really thinking rationally. So yeah, but we get down. I tell her what happened. She has a word with the people involved, and subsequently then asked me if I needed like a laptop or any help so that I didn't have to use the lift. And I said, as nice as that would be, I don't want to be treated any differently here. It's why I left it's why I came here, because it's a mainstream school. I'd been in a special needs school. I don't want any special treatment. It's why I'm doing this course, because I want to do this course. I don't want anything I know that you're trying to help me, but I don't want anything that's going to make me stand out differently to anybody else. So all I want to be able to do is use the facilities and have people know what they're doing if anything goes wrong. She understood that, and I think she admired it. So that was fair enough. The whole thing's been dealt with. We're down. I've spoken to her. She's going to speak to the caretakers, all the people involved who didn't really know what they were doing. The next day, or the day after, one of the caretakers comes over to me and says, at 2:00, we're gonna have a fire alarm test, so don't use the lifts. And I looked at him and I said, thank you for letting me know. Okay, that's nice of you. It's a test, so I won't. I'm not needing to go up there anyway. But in real life, you're not going to know when an emergency happens. You're not going to be able to come and tell me, oh, there's going to be a fire at 2:00. Don't use the lifts. If I needed to be up there and I had a piece of coursework, or I was doing a different subject and I needed to use those rooms more often, I would be in that situation, and you need to know what you're doing. We're not mind readers, are we? So as nice as I understand it is for you to come and tell me, oh, the lifts are going to be out of action at this time because we're doing a fire alarm, that's not really a true reflection of what could happen, is it? The second time that I can remember getting trapped in a lift, I was in Suffolk. I was on a day out with my then girlfriend. This is a few years ago now, like probably 4 or 5, maybe a bit longer. And we were in Ipswich, and I just needed to pick up something from H&M. I think we were going to a wedding or something. I needed a belt. I'd never been in this H&M before, so I go in, and the level you enter at was either kids or women's, and then there's a lift at the back of the shop. Fine, fair enough. Push the button to go into the lift. You go down to get to the men's department. Everything's fine. Push the button for the lift. The door's open. It's an old lift, okay, so it's a bit creaky. I'm used to that. And we're in the lift. Actually, when I push the button, it takes a while for the lift to come. So obviously, I just thought people are probably pushing it or whatever. Finally comes anyway. We get in it, and it's an old lift. It's creaky. It's a bit slow, and I'm used to it, but it sounded a bit off. Didn't really think much of it because I wasn't going to be there long. I was just going to go down, pick up what I needed, come back out. It wasn't like I'm doing a major look around shop. I'm going to buy new clothes, like I do. It wasn't one of them days. I didn't need that. Didn't have the money for one. So we get down. I find what I need, the belt, or what I think I need. We'll get onto that in a minute anyway. Pay for it. Everything's fine. Do that. Go back to the lift. Pushing the button. Wait for a minute because we remembered when we were up there. Obviously it's a bit slow. So push the button. Nothing's happening. Push the button again. Nothing's happening. Probably waited by that lift for about 10 minutes. Tried to get eye contact with staff, and eventually my ex-girlfriend went to the till and asked someone for assistance or if there was a problem. Then someone comes over to me and says, actually, the lift is broken and out of order. So while I was buying a belt, it had died. They knew it had died, and they knew it was out of order. They saw me sitting there for 10-15 minutes trying to call the lift, and I was trying to get eye contact with anybody who walked by. Nobody wanted to acknowledge me until one of us went to the tills and said something. Then I'm trapped in H&M. Not a lift, but I'm trapped in the basement level of H&M. No way of getting out. Because I didn't see another way out. The only way out was the lift. I'm not sure if they had escalators. I don't think they did. And anyway, you're not allowed to use them. So what this person did, it must have been lift only, because what this person did was call what I think was the town, that high street security, not even the shop security, because he came from the other end of Ipswich town apparently to come and rescue me. And instead, this is where I think obviously that it was only a lift that could get you down there, because instead of lifting me up in store stairs, he took me out of my chair, lifted me very, very awkwardly. I'm not sure whether he thought that I could wait there or anything, but it seems pretty obvious that I can't when I'm reeling around in a chair and I've had to call someone for help. Anyway, the most awkward carry, and I end up going through, if I remember rightly, the back room, stock room, staff room, and then up a fire escape. And the guy can't carry me very well. My girlfriend who I'm with is carrying my chair. She is properly annoyed for me and for the situation, because doesn't like the way that I'm being treated. Now, I, at this point, don't really want to cause a scene. I don't like causing a scene, and it's not going to help me anyway if I start arguing with people, right? So I'm like, just stay calm. I just need him to help me to get out of here so I can go on about my day. I don't need to argue with him. I don't need to argue with them. I just want to not cause a scene and get out of here, and I never have to come back again. And she was trying to be all stroppy with the people, and I'm like, it's not helping. It's not going to help me right now. All I need them to do is lift me, and you take my chair, and we get out of here, and then we can go about our business. You can moan at me afterwards for how I've dealt about it or whatever. But at this particular time, I'm not about to sit here and have an argument with someone who is about to actually help me get out of the situation I'm in. I don't want to be in it. I don't think it's fair that I am in it. But fighting an argument with someone is not going to help me. So, even though it wasn't the best way to be carried out of the shop, he carried me out of the shop, and I said thank you to him because it wasn't his fault that he didn't make the lift break. I guess the moral of that story is it can't be helped, okay? But there's no point creating a scene when there doesn't need to be one. I'm not going to create a scene because something's gone wrong. That I just need you to help me to get out of this situation. And acknowledgement when the staff knew that there might have been something wrong with the lift, to come over and say, oh, there is actually a problem with that. Can we help you? Rather than making me sit there for 15 minutes would have been helpful. And for the security to actually know how to get me out safely without causing a scene. And for anyone who is with a disabled person, don't argue or cause a scene with the people who are trying to help you, because the person with the disability feels awkward enough as it is, having to have these things happen and get people to help them. It's not cool. We don't like being stuck in those situations. That's why I try not to put myself in those situations personally. But when you are, don't create a situation with them or tension or an argument. Just let them help me or help the disabled person get out of the predicament they're in. Right. That's me and my stories. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And if I did speak about this before, or these before, I apologise, but I've got a lot of new subscribers, so if you haven't watched those videos, I can't even remember if they're there. Please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.